This is Jack Stanley, and I wanted to talk a little bit about Victor reproducers. The reproducers that you'll find on various Victor machines. The ones that you'll find most commonly. Let's put it that way. There are certain ones. There was a concert reproducer and a special reproducer that I'm not going to include here because I don't have it, first off. But also the fact is that you won't see them. It's a very rare occurrence that you see any of these, anything other than the ones you're about to see. Once again, as I said, I'm doing this for new collectors, people that are new to the hobby, people that want to learn or perhaps are a little confused about what each one means, what reproducer is for what, and how it should be used. I want to show you the four main types of reproducers that you will see. First off, this is called the exhibition reproducer. Perhaps more of these were made than any other. Now they were used from, just pretty much the onset of the Victor Company by around 1901. Into 1902, they had developed a reproducer, which eventually had, if you notice, the exhibition will have that kind of triangular opening. That is for the bamboo needles that were being made in the early days. And, of course, the thing is that it was shaped that way deliberately. Now, these would be replaced in 1916, 1917 by what is called the Victrola No. 2 reproducer. And this was with a bigger diaphragm. It was supposed to handle some of the louder sounds and perhaps the ever-expanding sound of Caruso recordings, perhaps. Both of these reproducers are very heavy, by the way. They track it quite a bit. In fact, in holding them up, I find that the exhibition is the heaviest, and that the Victrola No. 2 is just a shade lighter. Now, this third reproducer I want to show you is actually a European one. It was a Victrola No. 4 reproducer, and this is from HMV, and it was used on lots of portables like the HMV 101, and lots of other machines use this. Now the Victor type of Victrola No. 4 reproducer was often made of a pot metal combo, and they had a tendency to crack a lot. The European ones were not made that way. They were made with brass, and they're excellent. I find this a remarkable reproducer. Now, it's quite a bit lighter than the Exhibition or the Victrola No. 2, but I find it gives better quality than either. And it is quite a bit lighter. In fact, I like to use the Victrola 4 or the Victor 4 reproducer on my machines because I find that the sound quality is better and it's also less weight on the records. Just a thought there. Now the last reproducer I want to show you is this. This is the Orthophonic reproducer. And this is in all orthophonic machines. Also, there were variations of this for portables, which would have fabric in the front to perhaps deaden a little bit of the sound that the reproducer would make since it would be open. Now, this is also much lighter than the Exhibition or the Victor 2. And it is comparable in weight with the Victor 4. I think the Victor 4 is a touch heavier, at least in this example. I find many different examples of orthophonic heads weighing very different amounts. And I think it has a lot to do with the casting, because these were all made of, except for the batch that were brass, but most of them are made of pot metal. And the pot metal seems to have various weights. I think sometimes there were bubbles within it and stuff like that. And some of them become very, very fragile, and they shatter and crack and fall apart. This one, fortunately, is pretty solid and nice and has good sound. These are the 4 types of reproducers. Now, I have to tell you, this exhibition head and the Victrola number 2 head, neither one of these was designed to be used with electrically recorded records. So just to warn you, you use either one of those with electric records, you're going to do a lot of damage to your record. I have seen countless examples of people playing a Victor 5 outside horn machine and playing Tommy Dorsey with one of these reproducers. Now, of course, it'll play it, but this thing can't vibrate enough to fit the grooves of an electrical recording. It's just not designed to handle that. And the end result is it just digs its way through. Now, of course, the Victor 4 reproducer, which is much larger and has a swivel at the bottom, which is great, this was designed to play electric records. And it does an admirable job, I must tell you. Really does. And of course, the Orthophonic is designed for electric records. And of course, it has this whole section at the bottom that you'll see covered there. And inside there are magnetized balls that are holding all the vibrating parts together. It's an amazing design developed by Western Electric, and they're really quite incredible. When they're working well, they're fantastic. When they're not, when they're swelled, or there's something loose, or they rattle, they're dreadful. But when they're at the top of their game, the Orthophonic reproducer is really quite incredible. I will tell you that of all of these, the better sounding with electric records, of course, will be the Orthophonic. With acoustic recordings, I am of the belief that the Exhibition and the Victor 4 are the best. Just my personal view. Of course, the Victor 2 isn't too far behind, but this is a heavy, heavy reproducer. And as is the Exhibition, which is a little bit lighter than the Victor 2. The Victor 2 is the heaviest. And so just remember, if you've got a Victor 2 reproducer, it's inflicting the greatest weight on your records. If you get the opportunity, as a new collector, as I've told you before, make sure you have an electric turntable. But also, the other thing is this, that if you can find a Victor 4 reproducer, do it and put it on your outside horn machine or your Victor machine. Keep the original reproducer, put it away. If ever day comes you want to get rid of it or sell it, you can always put the original back on. But for the care of your records, I would put the lightest reproducer on. That's just my sense, and I find that the Victor 4 sounds better than pretty much the lot of them. It has a wider expansive sound and more bass. And a lot of times on early acoustic recordings, the one thing you are lacking a great deal of is bass. So I hope this helps. Once again, simple little things about collecting and, you know, which ones you should use and which one you should use for what. But just remember, acoustic records are fine with any 4 of these reproducers. Electric records are okay only with the Orthophonic and the Victor 4. The Victor number 2 and the Exhibition head were never designed for that, and they will destroy the electric records that you play. So good luck with your hunting, and have a good day.